So Ashley, great to see you here. And after Arsenal's victory last night and City drawing, it's looking really good for Arsenal, isn't it? Can they get it over the line this year at last?
Yeah, I think so. I think, with the consistency that Arsenal has shown so far this season, I think only 8 games left of the season, 7 points clear. Again, it's still obviously silly answer, but it's Arsenal's to lose. And, the way they're finding that extra 5%, 2% in games to find a way to win, it's going to have to be an absolute capitulation from Arsenal to lose the league.
You played in the team that was entertaining. There's a lot of criticism of this team. Do you think it's unfair?
Is it unfair? I think it depends whose eyes or whose mouth is using it. I certainly have a way that I like to watch football and a style that I want my team to play, but ultimately it's about winning. And Mikel Arteta got challenged at the start of the season to break the curse from 22, 24 years since they last won it, to be or position themselves above Manchester City and Liverpool, and they've done that so far. So ultimately, at the end of the Premier League season, if Arsenal's name is on the title, he's done his job.
And of course, you played under the all-time great Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger. How do you think Mikel Arteta compares? Do you think he's getting towards that sort of status if he can start adding trophies to his success?
I think you've got to continue to win. To be up with Arsene Wenger right now, of course, I think you've seen the quality of Mikel, his tactical understanding. He's doing a great job, but to be compared with Arsene Wenger right now, I think is a little bit too premature. You've got to continue to win and compete, and hopefully they'll get his first title over the line, and hopefully he can build on that.
Declan Rice is up for the Player of the Year tonight. Just how important is he? Not just for Arsenal, or England too.
Yeah, he's, I think, firstly, a great person. I think, there's a big move for him to go from West Ham to Arsenal. Big decision. I assume there was probably a lot of clubs around Europe that wanted him, but he trusted the Arteta kind of process and way of playing, and he's fitted in there very easily. He's certainly one of their best players. Keeps the game ticking. Everything goes through him. And I think he's changed his mentality into a real winning mentality, which I think is only going to help England in the World Cup. So I've had the pleasure to work with him and be around him, and he's a top pro, and he'll be certainly integral to England's hopefully success in the summer.
You touched on it there, England, huge tournament. They've been so close in the last few years. Can they get it over the line this summer?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, I've been lucky enough to been around the pathway of England and seen the great players that's come through the pathway, came through the 21s, and then I go up and work with the senior team, and there's some top players there. They've just got to keep believing. Hope a little bit goes their way in terms of that's football. You need a little bit of somehow luck, but they've definitely got the talent to do it, and hopefully they can perform on a big stage and continue what Gareth obviously left, and go the extra mile and bring a World Cup home.
And a quick word on Harry Kane, because he's having a sensational season. You just hope from an English point of view he can carry that through the summer.
Yeah, 100%. Again, we monitored him a lot when he was at Bayern, when he was working with the seniors, and he keeps finding a way to score goals. He looks like he's fitter and sharper than at the start of the season, and he's continued his fantastic scoring vein. Again, you talk about top pros and people that really want to execute in top moments, and he's definitely one of them. So yeah, hopefully he stays fit from now to the end of the season, and he continues that form into the World Cup.
And just quickly on Arsenal, they're in 4 competitions, they're in 1 final, they've got good draws in both the Champions League and the FA Cup. Do you think they can go all the way and do a quadruple?
Why not? I think the players seem to have some sort of belief. The manager has a belief, and slowly but surely they're winning game after game, and if they can continue that form and have that belief, nothing is impossible in football, and they'll certainly have the feeling of getting the first one over the line. I'm not too sure which competition comes first, but they get that feeling of the first win, and then who knows what can happen. It breeds a lot of confidence when you win a trophy. So there's a lot of players there that's not won trophies, so it'd be important for them to get the first one over the line as quick as possible and then continue that run.
And just very quickly on Chelsea and other of your former clubs, because obviously they've had a great history of winning trophies recently, but now they're struggling a little bit, they're building up again. Can you see Leroy Rosinha being the man to take them on to success?
Yeah, I certainly think they've got the players capable to do that. They need a few more signings to be, again, where I think they're really competing for the Premier League in the top 1 and 2. But they've shown signs this season that they compete and beat any team in the world. But you just got to find that consistency. You know, hopefully through this season or the start of next season, you find some leaders from that group that now want to take a more important role and push the club where it should be and wants to be. I think there's a massive expectation from fans that Chelsea need to win trophies, and I totally agree. But they've gone a different direction, a different way, and hopefully Liam can change that.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Ashley.